Blog Talk Radio.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Franchise Interviews, where we're asking the franchipreneur who owns one. I'm your host, Marty McDermott, with my co-host, Don Johnson. And if you've ever dreamed of owning your own business, then you've come to the right place. We have a great show this morning. We're meeting with Justin Darlin of the Interstate All Battery Center franchise opportunity. And Interstate All Battery Center, a fast-growing division of Interstate Batteries, the #1 automotive replacement battery in the country, is taking its proven market leadership into the $73 billion all battery market, and that's coming up in segment 2 of Franchise Interviews. So stick around because we got a great show.
Are you one of those special people who are willing to go after your dreams and goals? Are you ready to fulfill that dream of owning your own business with the security of a proven brand? The opportunity to take control of your future and own a Rita's Italian Ice franchise is within your reach.
Rita's is seeking success-oriented individuals who are ready to make a change in their life, and Rita's offers unparalleled training and support to assure your success. And did you know the frozen treat industry is a recession-proof industry, and there are Rita's in 23 states currently with 540 stores open. Rita's Italian Ice has been around for 25 years and is listed as a top-performing franchise by the Wall Street Journal.
Now here's the really good part. Rita's Italian Ice is a unique and amazing taste treat. It's smoother than a snow cone, and it combines ice with real fresh fruit. The real fruit adds dramatically to the taste, and it comes in over 40 flavors. The ice and fruit are mixed on site and made fresh daily, and it is delicious.
You'll want to know more about this exciting and successful franchise opportunity. Go to www.ownaritas.com and get all your questions answered. That's www.ownaritas.com to take control of your dreams and future today. You don't want to wait any longer to be a part of this adventure. www.ownaritas.com. Franchise Interviews. For over 2 years now, Franchise Interviews has been giving you an up-close, behind-the-scenes look at franchising and entrepreneurship.
Through our website, franchiseinterviews.com, where you can hear and read interviews as well as get tips from some of the most successful sources in franchising.
And our weekly franchise radio show, where each week you get to hear a new interview with franchisors, franchisees, franchise authors, experts, and attorneys.
And our free franchise newsletter, which is a must-read for anyone looking to buy a franchise.
And don't forget to listen to our podcast, Great Quotes in Franchising. For more information, go to franchiseinterviews.com or call us at 610-905-2919.
That's 610-905-2919.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Franchise Interviews, where we're asking the franchipreneur who owns one. I'm your host, Marty McDermott, with my co-host, Don Johnson. And if you've ever dreamed of owning your own business, then you've come to the right place. How you doing today, Don? Welcome back.
I'm doing fine, Marty. How are you this week?
Good, good. On this rainy, very, very rainy day here in Pennsylvania today. It's pretty nasty here. I guess you guys are getting hit out there as well.
Too much rain lately, yeah.
Sure is, but...
It's the kids' summer. I guess a lot of kids are going to be off from school soon or are now, so...
That's right, I guess your
time
kids
of year, you don't want rain, you want nice summer, sunny days.
Well, that's got to be tough. I guess I imagine with your kids, they're probably in the house today, it's...
Right.
Not much to do. I know they just finished their school, so congratulations on that. They just graduated from, is it kindergarten or is it nursery school?
Yeah, nursery school. Their first school ever that they've been at for 2 years, and
wow.
Definitely a little emotional.
Oh, absolutely. That's a milestone, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, your kids have actually grown up on the show, because we've been doing it so long now, 2.5 years. It's we've gone through a lot of those milestones, so it is just amazing how long we've been doing the show. But yeah, it's fantastic. Our last showdown, we met with Frank Milner, president of Tutor Doctor, and also Ollie Rogers, Tutor Doctor franchisee. And it's always a lot of fun doing that franchisor franchisee show at the same time, isn't it? And they were a nice combo. It almost sounds like a radio show, doesn't it? Like Frank and Ollie. We should get them to have their own radio show one day. But yeah, I thought they were great guests, and I was really very impressed with their opportunity. I was a little familiar with the company, but after listening to them, I said, wow, that's very interesting, especially being in education.
Yeah, they did a great job of explaining their service, and I really like this particular company. It's it's a simple, needed service. It's a low investment size. They're making a difference in the community. They're helping people, which is always a good feeling, of course. And they can custom design a program specific to the needs of that child or person. And I consider it a recession-resistant business. This is something parents are always, as far as education, that's a necessity.
I agree with you. I think it's one of the things that you just don't want to skimp upon. Anything with your children. We've had a lot of those franchise opportunities, it seems like, over the last 4 months, where, it's kind of child-related. And, you hope you don't need a tutor, but, it's nice to know that they're available and they actually come to your home, I think that's a great part of the service, isn't it? Where you don't have to haul out, especially on a day like today, here in Pennsylvania. It's so nasty out that, driving out in these torrential rainpours, who wants to do that? Have the tutor come to your house, and so I think it's a wonderful service. They're getting into the whole online thing, which got me really excited. Being an online professor for Kaplan University, I saw a lot of opportunity here, for the online community as well. I think that's going to open up another secondary market for Tutor Doctor. I think there's nothing like that face-to-face interaction, but it's nice to know that it is available, though, if you need it, if your tutor can't get to you,
Right. Yeah, the convenience is great, It's everybody's schedule's so busy, driving around all over the place. Nice to know there's something can come right to you.
Yeah, great home-based business opportunity. We've had a lot of them on the show recently, too, So, yeah, I think we should keep our eye on them. And, I think they're also focusing towards international expansion. And, so we'll just keep our eye on them, and we'll have them back next year as they continue to grow.
Definitely.
So what do we got going on today, Don?
Well, we're having on Justin Darlin with Interstate All Battery Center.
Man, I know you're familiar with Interstate All Battery. I know I'm familiar with them. This is an exciting opportunity. It was funny. I was just so about a week ago, I was talking to my students about trends taking place here in the U.S. One of them being wireless. That's like the hot word right now. So this is a fantastic opportunity. It's a pretty big industry too, and I know Justin could do a much better job of talking about it than I could. So
I want to hear all about their history, and it's an interesting. And again, this might be our first. Well,
I can't remember. We've done so many shows now, as far as categories go, but it's been a while, So I used to be able to recite all the shows to you, and I think probably this is like our 125th show at this point. So it's another great one for the library,
Right.
So absolutely. Our podcast, by the way, is doing exceptionally well. Just so you know, I think I was mentioning that to you some time ago. That our podcast has seemed to just taken off, on the internet, and we have thousands of people listening to it now. And you say, who knew, that our podcast was going to become such a big part of our show as well.
Right.
And what our podcast is great quotes in franchising. Where we take a great quote from a guest, and typically, I think every show, I learned something, and I think that's one of the great benefits of our show is here you and I are. We've been involved in franchising over a decade now, and every single show I learned something. I think you feel the same way.
Then we have the newsletter going out and always adding to the website, supporting the show.
Absolutely, so it's been a lot of fun, and we have some interesting shows coming up. We're going to have John Rick back in a couple weeks, just so you know. It's John Rando
Right. We weren't able to do that show last week.
We've got another interesting one for next week. Was it Good Feet? I think you're familiar with them, aren't you?
Right.
Or somewhat familiar with them, So that's an interesting opportunity. So I'm, looking forward to learning more about those guys as well, and some interesting shows booked for July and August, and we're going to play some best of editions too. I know because you and I are both taking a vacation at the, sometime in July.
End of July, yeah.
End of July, yeah. I think I'll be away at the end of July as well. So, so it should be a lot of fun. A lot of great things happening. And so you probably read about like 400 articles over the last couple of weeks, right? And your house is full of newspapers. So what's anything exciting going on in franchising?
Well, here's something article locally, right in my backyard from the Star Ledger. It's titled The Food Chain. Franchises expand in New Jersey as jobless look for options. Starts off, Rob Cox spent a decade getting rich off well-placed bets. On his best day, the former Citigroup trader brought in $100,000 for the firm, taking home enough to pay his mortgage for the year. Now Cox, who took a buyout last year in the midst of company downsizing, is placing his bets on a different type of gamble, frozen desserts. Later this month, the 33-year-old plans to open a Jersey City franchise for Tasty Delight, a chain that aims to add 30 to 40 stores over the next few years in New Jersey alone.
Wow.
I'm familiar with Tasty Delight. That company's really growing, doing a great job. We've helped some people with financing. It's every crowd is into this dessert. Why wouldn't you be into it? Cox said of the low-fat dairy treat, which is offered in flavors like Snickers, cake butter, and banana pudding. I'm going in and I'm going to be successful. Like Cox, many from the ranks of the unemployed are now looking to the franchise sector, which remains one of the few bright spots in a sluggish economy. Defying the downward trend, sales last year for the top 100 fast casual chains grew nearly 11%, led by the Asian noodle, bakery/cafe, and Mexican food categories, according to Chicago-based research consultant Technomic. This year, the fast food and casual dining categories are projected to grow by 1% to 2% overall as consumers trade down to cheaper food options, according to the IFA.
Right. Interesting.
We anticipate we're going to continue to see franchises outpace other businesses, said Alyssa Harrison, an association spokeswoman. It goes on in New Jersey, where more than 200,000 franchise establishments form a $24.6 billion industry, with expansion led in recent years by chains like Dunkin' Donuts, Subway, Quiznos, and Cold Stone Creamery. Many companies are seeing potential for more growth. And I have seen that, just going around New Jersey, I'm starting to see some franchises that have never been in this area before.
Wow, that's a great sign.
Like Five Guys Burgers, I know, is popping up in a few.
It's funny you say Five Guys. I saw a billboard for them yesterday as I was driving for Five Guys Burgers coming soon. So that's interesting. And here you are. You're about 70 miles away from where I am, So, yeah, you do see that growth in franchising, don't you? And
right.
It sounds like they mentioned in the article that franchising is just, outpacing regular businesses, and there's a lot of reasons for that. If you listen to our show on A Weekly Business, one simple thing just being brand recognition, I mean, people are familiar with Five Guys, or Dunkin' Donuts and Cold Stone, and, so
right.
when they go up, you know who they are right away. There's not much risk involved in trying one out because chances are you may have been there already anyway. So, yeah.
Just in a strip mall up the street, we have a Massage Envy franchise, Planet Beach, Blimpie, Subs.
That's interesting.
So it's all over the place.
That's great, and your area is exploding, isn't it? It seems like franchise after franchise is going up.
Right. Tasty Delight, which started franchising last year after a change in ownership, recently surveyed more than 300 markets across the country and ranked the Garden State in the top 20% based on consumption and exercise habits, says Nikki Sells, Vice President of Franchise and Development. They ranked Pennsylvania dead last.
Did they really?
I'm just kidding. The chain is now. What's that?
I said we're exploding here. Actually, it's part of Pennsylvania. We're in the eastern part of Pennsylvania, but it is amazing to see the growth. I mean, just right on the Delaware River, it's lots of franchises going up.
It goes on, Marty. Meanwhile, Panchero's Mexican Grill, a quick-service franchise that opened its first New Jersey location in Mount Laurel last year, is planning to add another 75 to 150 stores across the state over the next decade. That's incredible. That's a big-time growth. The expansion is being spearheaded by Raj and Navina Patel, food franchise veterans who have opened two Panchero's locations in the past year. Over the years, the couple have also owned and sold 5 Dunkin' Donuts, a Blimpie, and a McDonald's, all for a profit.
Really? Wow.
Long time. Those would be great people to get on the show.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Craving a bigger challenge, they signed up with Pancheros in '07 because the small but rapidly expanding chain offered them a chance to act as area managers for the entire state, or area developers, where people buy a large territory and can develop it and bring in other investors besides their own expansion. They invested over $400,000 in the first location. They estimate the new store will bring in between up to $1.6 million in annual revenue.
Wow.
Raj Patel, who worked as an engineer for Ford and General Motors till the early 90s, said the recent turmoil in the auto industry reaffirmed his decision to go into restaurant and fast food franchises. I guess he was smart. Even way back then, he realized that he just wanted to go in a different direction. He thought franchising would be best for him.
Is this couple from Jersey, did you say, Don?
Yes.
Oh, we should get him on the show, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And he feels basically that this type of investment, this type of franchise, people can still afford it in this economy.
Right.
So he has it all thought out. Franchise companies are generally regarded as safer investments because they offer an established business model. For somebody who's never owned a business before, the franchise industry holds appeal because it has structure, says Nick Coron, a Summit-based career coach.
Yeah.
For a set startup cost, an investor is granted not only his own store, but also access to the company's marketing, support, and training resources. Investment costs vary according to company and location. A Subway sandwich shop, for example, costs between $114 and $250, while Tasty Delight locations range $253 to $431. Franchising also has a reputation for outpacing other sectors of the economy. Between 2001 and 2005, the franchising sector expanded 18%, adding more than 140,000 new businesses nationally, according to the IFA.
So where's all the doom and gloom?
Yeah.
So he's, like opening up the newspapers, and just talking about, how bad the economy is and things like that. But, it's it is amazing how you see the growth in franchising,
Yeah.
Kind of like a separate, I don't know how to say it's a separate entity. It is part of business and the economy and things like that. But if you kind of separate it, though, from like the regular, I hate to say the regular businesses, I think there's a very big difference, and I'm glad to see that these studies are coming out now. Right.
Yeah, I mean, I speak to people all over the country through financing. I'm hearing some things are getting a little better, but I mean, here's a little bit of doom and gloom. However, economists warn against expecting growth to continue with such momentum, pointing out, like other businesses during that period, franchises were backed by easy financing. In 2005, the New Jersey Small Business Administration granted 278 franchise loans totaling $90 million. Wow. That was in 2005. That number dwindled to just 65 loans last year, totaling $29 million.
Ouch.
Big time drop off.
Yeah.
Which takes me to this other thing, Marty. At a Boston Business Journal by Mike Hoban, tighter credit makes franchising a harder nut. In past recessions, entrepreneurs could and often would turn to tried and true franchise concepts to jumpstart their dreams, but the tightening of the credit markets has slowed the pace of new franchise startups and thinned the herds of some established franchisors. Historically, franchising as a business model has been extremely resilient to economic slowdowns, which has helped spur the pace of economic recovery, says Matthew Shea, president and CEO of the IFA, in a recent press release. However, the credit crunch is constraining this potential growth and slowing economic recovery. According to PricewaterhouseCoopers, Franchise Business Economic Outlet for 2009, in the years following the burst of the dot-com bubble in 2000, the number of franchisees increased on average by 5.6% per year through 2005. So that was pretty large growth from 2000 on, 5%, 5.6% growth each year for the next 5 years. By 2008, the credit began to tighten. The pace slowed to 2.1%.
Wow.
And I guess by the end of this year, it's gonna stay steady, possibly decline slightly, but the numbers are all less than the national averages. I mean,
True. Yeah.
So, here's an interesting article, Marty. Making franchise relationships work. Keep your team, your boss, and yourself happy with these communication tips by Joe Lindenmeyer, who we just had on the show a couple of weeks ago. He's the president and co-owner of TSS Photography.
Great opportunity. Yeah, it's just interesting franchise, wasn't it? It was pretty recent that we had him on the show, wasn't it? It was like about a month ago.
Yeah, it wasn't too long. It says the franchisee-franchisor relationship is a unique one. It differs significantly from the average employee-employer dynamic in various ways. Over the course of 16 years, I've been both a franchisor and a franchisee at different times and at various levels of organizations. Ensuring an optimal relationship between the two will not only improve your bottom line, but perhaps your emotional well-being as well. When you're new to an organization, you quickly understand the larger purpose of having two ears and one mouth. There is much to listen to and many to learn from before you should start making changes. As the youngest of 7 kids, I've been used to people around me thinking they know more than I do. Oftentimes this is true. Okay, so he pokes fun at himself a little bit. Now, I try to listen even more so than when I was a newbie. Surround yourself with great talent. To maximize this talent, have your team take ownership of a task as quickly as possible and get their input before investing valuable time and energy in one idea. A successful leader gives targets to achieve. It is vital to know what the ultimate goal is, but don't micromanage the process or the steps to get there. And he offers some suggestions. One is always give the benefit of the doubt. As a franchisee, let your franchisor know you will give them the benefit of the doubt when there are changes occurring within the organization. You know that the franchisor needs to make decisions for the president as well as the future of the organization, and this can be the most critical aspect of your relationship in franchising. By giving the benefit of the doubt, the first thought that comes to mind should be there is a good reason this decision or issue has been addressed this way.
Right.
As the franchisor, you know a franchisee invested their future in your business model, wants to deliver the lifestyle and profit you expect. When a franchisee reacts emotionally to a decision you make, give them the benefit of the doubt before diminishing that franchisee status in the minds of you and your staff.
Right.
Second one, he goes into seek first to understand. Dig up all those old listening skills you had while dating. Remember hinging on every word your date said?
Right.
It was a long time ago. All right.
Well, we've said that a couple of times, didn't we? On the show, referencing the whole
right
dating thing. That you want to date a little. And I think it's a great
right
analogy. To use when talking about franchising. Absolutely.
So seek first to understand. The franchisee says clarify your message if you are unsure of the core issue at hand, and don't be afraid to speak up. Recently, a franchisee was talking with me about business expansion, potentially adding staff. He appeared unusually short and was having difficulty grasping the strategic nature of our topic. Finally, I simply asked him if there was something else that was bothering him. So a lot of times it just comes down to communication. As the franchisor, there may be distractions of various tangents of an issue that keep you from digging into solutions. Once you have a full understanding of a situation, work with your franchisee and use your instincts and skills to find the optimal results. And third, he feels, as part of this article, which is making franchise relationships work, is visit your teams one-on-one. As the franchisee, technology is great. The phones, email, even web conferencing have improved communication in many ways, but a one-on-one visit to your corporate office is a great way to improve your business. Your accomplishments depend on a successful execution of your model, and the franchisor wants to help you. Take the time and spend the time to fly or drive to their headquarters and schedule time with everyone.
True.
As the franchisor, most solid franchise systems have field sales visits, an annual convention, or even regional meetings scheduled throughout the year. These are great for communicating, but you should take the time to be at these events and strongly convey your vision for the franchise company.
Right.
Your presence demonstrates this to your prospective and current franchisees and shows them how serious you are about your business succeeding.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. And I think a lot of these meetings that they have too, Don, with the franchisees, it gives an opportunity, and a lot of our guests have said this in the past, to share best practices, with each other. Most of them are all willing to do that. Is share their ideas, what works, what hasn't worked, and things like that. So it's one of the advantages of joining I guess you could say the club. If you think of a franchise like a club, and in most cases, franchisees, from what I've heard anyway, are usually very generous at offering information and are very willing to help their fellow franchisees because they've been through it. You know what I mean? So I think that's fantastic.
Good.
It was a good article. How about we do this? How about we take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more franchise tips.
Big Mouth!
Okay, you've got my attention.
It's a rare event in the world of franchising when an opportunity comes your way that can and will thrive in almost any economic environment. It's here, and its name is Big Mouth Advertising.
Big Mouth.
BMA is a leader in the exciting world of mobile media advertising. Why is mobile media advertising able to defy the economic cycles? The answer is obvious. In times of economic weakness, advertising is crucial for survival as the consumer dollar is scarce and the competition fierce. What is mobile media? It's the newest and fastest growing segment in the advertising world. Mobile media brings the message directly to the consumer. Mobile media goes to the consumer in traffic where he eats and where he plays. It quite simply cannot be turned off or thrown out. And when you join the Big Mouth team as a franchisee, you are joining the best. The Big Mouth advantage is simple and successful. We invest in a strong infrastructure and in great people. As a franchisee, you have access to this entire system, including telemarketing, sales maximization, general and administrative support, design and creative services, even billing and collection services. All you need is a mobile media vehicle, a driver, and the willingness to create a financially sound and limitless business for yourself. There are no long-term leases to sign, no expensive build-outs, no office personnel to hire. You will be part of the Big Mouth advertising community and share its entire website and reception services, as well as its complete back-office services. This virtual office guarantees you the freedom to close those sales that will make you a success. We are so proud of our successes that we have voluntarily disclosed our revenue statements. Now, how many other franchises are doing that? Even in these historically rough financial times, Big Mouth Advertising has become a dominant force in the mobile media industry. Join the Big Mouth team and take the first step toward financial freedom. Please call Ron at 888-98-GO-BIG. That's 888-98-GO-BIG. Big Mouth! Need a business loan? Talk to Diamond Financial Services, the experts in franchise financing nationwide. Whether you're looking to start a franchise, acquire an existing franchise, or expand your territory through opening new locations, Diamond Financial stands by your side start to finish. From pre-qualification to packaging and presenting your application to securing a financial commitment and through the loan closing process, Diamond Financial is there. While you're waiting, thousands of others are making their financial dreams come true. Don't wait any longer. Pre-qualify now by completing a confidential, no-obligation financial analysis. Let's face it, traditional banks just aren't in the business of financing small business. At Diamond Financial, we specialize in securing franchise loans from $100,000 to $3 million and equipment leasing up to $150,000. Let us help you get started. Go to www.franchisefunding.net or call 877-508-2274. That's franchisefunding.net, 877-508-2274.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Franchise Interviews, where we're asking the franchisepreneur who owns one. I'm your host, Marty McDermott, with my co-host, Don Johnson. And if you've ever dreamed of owning your own business, then you've come to the right place. And as we were saying earlier, Don, we have a great show this morning. We're meeting with Justin Darlin of the Interstate All Battery Center franchise opportunity. And Interstate All Battery Center, a fast-growing division of Interstate Batteries, the #1 automotive replacement battery in the country, is taking its proven market leadership into the $73 billion all battery market. It's incredible. Hey, Justin, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Marty and Don, good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, thank you, Justin. And I know, Don, you wanted to say good morning to Justin.
Yeah, Justin, thanks a lot for coming on. Justin,
Hey, you bet, Don. Hey, real quick before we get started, I want to congratulate you guys on 125 shows. That's incredible.
Thank you. It's a milestone, Justin. Yeah, it's was saying to Don earlier before the show, it seems like yesterday we just started, but here we are 2.5 years later. So
it's amazing how the time's gone by so quickly, and we continue to put together quality shows, and we're really happy to have you on, Justin.
Well, good. We appreciate it. We appreciate the relationship we have with Diamond Financial, and glad to be on your show and talk about the Interstate All Battery Center franchise concept.
Great.
Thanks so much, Justin. Justin, we always like to begin asking our guests where you're calling from this morning to get an idea what the weather's like over there.
Well, I'll tell you, we're in Dallas, Texas, and it is nice and warm. I think estimated high today is 98 degrees, so summer has officially begun.
That's fantastic. And Justin, what were you doing before joining Interstate All Battery franchise?
Actually, prior to joining Interstate, I was with a local financial planning firm. After that, owned a business for a short time, and then have been with Interstate Batteries for the last 6 years, and have been involved in the franchise development concept for about the last 18 months. So aggressively franchising and excited about the direction we're headed.
Yeah, it sounds great that you've owned your own business, too, so I guess you can kind of empathize, too, with, your franchisees are going through sometimes.
Sure. Yeah, that perspective certainly helps.
That's fantastic.
How about the history, Justin, of Interstate? Talk to us about that a little bit, when the company started franchising.
You bet, Don. Well, first of all, I'll kind of start with the beginning of the history of Interstate Batteries, and I'll tell you guys, it really is the story of the American dream. Interstate Batteries is a 57-year-old company founded by a gentleman back in the spring of 1950 named John Searcy. And this is really the great part of this, guys, is that he began this business by selling batteries out of the back of his red Studebaker pickup truck.
Wow, I love those stories. Yeah, those are great.
It certainly is kind of the American dream, and built the company on certainly high principles, offering a quality product, and doing that while making sure that he had impeccable service, and which is basically our message today, that we have a product that is outrageously dependable. I'll tell you, the brand that folks are probably most familiar with, Marty and Don, is the Interstate Batteries brand, and it took off in the 80s. And that was with our chairman, Norm Miller, and we began to have a presence in all 50 states, distributorships with in all 50 states, and having over 200,000 dealers. And to kind of put that in perspective, that'd be like having 200,000 golden arches across the country. It's that impactful. And then we're excited this year that we'll be celebrating that same milestone on the franchise side. Here at the end of the month, we will have a presence in all 50 states. All 50 states, and that puts us in a very exclusive group. In fact, we are the only battery franchise organization that can say that. So we're very, very excited. We have a presence in Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, Canada, and in July we're excited to announce that we'll have a presence in Mexico. So there's an international growth mode, and we're excited about moving in that direction.
Wow, so it sounds like you've been pretty busy, Justin. I imagine you're all over the place as well.
Well, we have been busy. Last year was our most successful year in franchising. We signed over 40 franchise agreements, and calendar year to date we're at about 14 right now, and looking to duplicate our results from last year as well.
And it's great to hear those stories too, Justin. Because Don and I talk about you read the newspapers and it always talks about the doom and gloom, but how franchising seems to get around all that, So I think that's wonderful.
Well, it does, and we're excited about our particular concept, and I think our concept is unique in the marketplace. And you guys were talking about it earlier, that you do hear a lot of doom and gloom, and you do hear a lot of negative economic reports. But what we've recognized in the marketplace is that during times like this, during dynamic market times, the marketplace responds to and flees to quality. They respond to brands that they recognize, brands that they trust, and Interstate Batteries and Interstate All Battery Center is a brand that certainly represents that, and we've seen an uptick in interest in our concept. We've seen an uptick in our interest in qualified candidates, and we are excited about the direction where we're headed.
I was just going to say that, Justin, during these times where unfortunately people are out of work, there are higher quality prospects. I mean, lending is the cheapest in 5 years. Lease space is better, more negotiating and getting better locations. I mean, that's all helping Interstate. Right?
Well, absolutely, and we're looking for during this dynamic time, market share is being exchanged, and I think franchise candidates, those who are looking to partner with a franchisor, that is willing to take market share, that's willing to be aggressive, willing to be athletic in the marketplace, and that's what Interstate has always represented. We're taking advantage of this dynamic market and leaning forward. It's not very often, guys, I think you'd agree, that a 57-year-old company would choose to continue to expand their brand and lean forward in this type of marketplace. And that's something that, quite frankly, has been very, very attractive to the candidates that we deal with. And they appreciate the fact that, hey, this is a 57-year-old company, and we're not holding ground. In fact, we're taking ground during this dynamic market. And we actually have embraced it. So we're looking forward, as I said, to the direction that we're headed.
It's nice being such a niche-type service. I mean, that's really helping, of course.
Well, it is, and I think you'd be surprised to know that Interstate All Battery Center has over 16,000 different power solutions, batteries and power solutions. So, the concept itself is unique, and you hear tossed around a lot in the recession-proof industry. Well, we're not going to say we're recession-proof, but we're certainly recession-resilient. And to your point, we are a niche marketplace, and we are in the replacement battery business. So during good economic times, folks are replacing batteries for the new portable devices, and during tough times, they're still replacing batteries for their devices. So that's, to your point, we are a niche industry.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a necessity product too, Justin. You're not going to compromise on, not getting a new battery.
Well, I'll tell you, and we've capitalized on the national recognized brand of Interstate Batteries. Like I said, 57 years, and we are the number one automotive replacement battery in North America. And folks, like I said, flee to quality. So our franchisees reap the benefits of that nationally recognized brand. I mentioned earlier, Marty and Don, that we have over 200,000 dealers, and you know what that means? That means that we have coverage in every zip code in the United States. So when our franchisees sell one of our Interstate Battery car batteries, that battery can be warrantied anywhere in the country. So that's certainly a leg up in this particular space, and it's something that our franchisees tout and promote at their local stores.
Talk about national advertising for a second. I imagine you guys advertise with NASCAR. Is your driver wing it all lately?
Well, he is actually. And the NASCAR relationship has been great. This is another one of those great stories. We're the founding sponsor with Joe Gibbs Racing, and Joe, we've been a partner with them for the last 17 years. And are now the official battery of Joe Gibbs Racing. So our battery is represented with all his entire stable of drivers, which includes the primary driver, which is Kyle Busch, the number 18 car, which has a great history in NASCAR. But we also get to share in the Home Depot car and the FedEx car and take advantage of those co-sponsorships. So, yeah, the NASCAR relationship has been great in the national brand recognition for Interstate Batteries for 17 years. We have redirected some of that national advertising to commercial television. We've realized that communicating with the end consumer is a priority, and that making sure that the marketplace is aware that we have every battery for every need. And so we're using our national commercials in doing that, and we've been very, very aggressive in communicating that message out to the marketplace. It's unique. Our concept is we feel like we have probably the most exclusive promise, certainly in our space, but probably in retail. When a customer comes into our location, Marty and Don, we promise that we're either going to have it, find it, or build it. And so when a customer comes into our locations, they don't have to worry about what type of battery or power solution to find. Our experts, our franchisees there in the local store will 99% of the time have it. If not, they'll go through our global supply chain and acquire it. And if that doesn't work, we'll build the battery for them. So that's a message from a national perspective that we communicate out to the marketplace.
It's a guarantee. It's great.
It is a guarantee. It is absolutely a guarantee. It's making sure that you can find that favorite shirt over and over again.
So how do you describe, Justin, the Interstate all battery franchise to a prospect?
Well, it's basically two businesses in one. You've got the retail side of things, and the retail perspective is that you've got a nationally recognized, respected brand that attracts customers to your door. And when they walk in there, the physical location, you're able to, as I said, communicate that you'll have that battery, find it or build it, and doing that with over 16,000 different portable power solutions, and being able to have every battery for every need. So that's the retail side of things, and we've developed the retail concept with over 4.5 years of customer segmentation research, where we not only know who our customers are from a demographic standpoint, but we spend a lot of time on the psychographic standpoint. We know their behaviors. We know how they behave from a purchasing standpoint. So that really allows our franchisee to have the opportunity to be successful in the retail side. But probably the most distinguishing part of our concept is the business-to-business or the commercial side of things. And I think as potential franchisees or canvassing the opportunities that are out there, this is something that really distinguishes us in the marketplace. We actually allow our franchisees, upon becoming a strategic partner, and we consider it a partnership with our franchisees, to begin commercial selling after completing training. So what that does is that allows them anywhere from a 6 to 10 month period to ramp up in commercial sales and to begin to establish revenue before they even open their doors.
Wow.
And then the other thing is, in most cases, the franchisee has the opportunity to purchase existing accounts that are in the marketplace that he is going to be working in. And the way we do that is we have a commercial inside sales team based in Des Moines, Iowa, that is calling all across the country in territories where we do not have franchise locations. So we're seeding those markets. So the franchisee candidate can have a jump start, have existing accounts right from the beginning. And that really is a distinguishing factor, certainly in our space, but in most franchise concepts altogether.
That's fantastic. This industry is huge too, isn't it, Justin? Any numbers?
Yeah, the Fredonia Research Group, you may be familiar with them. They recently came out with a number that a global battery marketplace is $73 billion. And we absorb that from the perspective that as America's fastest growing portable power solutions company, that the marketplace is fragmented. And so there's nobody that has more batteries under one national brand than Interstate All Battery Center. So we feel from a franchise perspective that we are positioned extremely well to dominate and market in that particular space. So $73 billion, that's a lot of opportunity out there.
So,
definitely,
absolutely. Yeah. What about the location, just for the retail end of things? Is there an ideal location?
Well, absolutely. We, as I mentioned, we do a significant amount of research into demographic and psychographic. So what we know is we know where our customers are. So when we sit down with a candidate, we're able to share with them, because of this extensive research and customer segmentation analysis, we're able to share with them what each individual market looks like. And we do have potential site locations that we're able to identify. We've put a premium on researching that because that's critical. Absolutely, it's critical. So we're able to go into each market, and we go through the site approval process, certainly, but we do that with intelligence and know exactly where the customers are. We've got proprietary research that allows us to give the franchisee the best opportunity and the best location for success.
Yeah, that research is very powerful too. It really does eliminate the guesswork. It's something that the average person, I believe, just cannot do on their own. You can hire somebody to do it, but I can imagine that those numbers are very expensive.
Well, I'll tell you, you're exactly right. It's been a significant investment on our part, substantial, and gathering data, like I said, over the last 4.5 years with regard to customer segmentation has benefited us, and we see it continuing to benefit. And as you guys know, the marketplace changes, population growth occurs, so being able to have real-time analysis on that is critical for a person that's looking at a franchise opportunity. And with the Interstate All Battery Center franchise opportunity, the franchise candidate has full view and optics to all of that. In fact, that's very much a part of our philosophy in franchising, is that I know it's hard to believe, guys, but owning a battery store is not for everyone. And but what we do is, through our entire process, we give the franchise candidate enough information and ammunition to make a very, very good decision about what he's doing. And we approach it from a full disclosure perspective. We learned an incredible stat that there's 71% of franchise systems that don't share operating results. Well, we do, and we make that very open, and we want to make sure that everybody's completely aware of what the concept is. And you guys know that there tends to be in the franchise industry a very salesy culture. We approach it from an offer standpoint, and we're looking for folks that are wanting to partner with us, strategically partner, that share our commitment, and we've kind of peeled back all the layers, guys, and with all the agreements and through the disclosure documents and everything, if you peel back all the layers, there's really one common goal, and that's to acquire and retain one more customer, and that is our primary focus at Interstate All Battery Center, is to acquire and retain one more customer, and our focus from the franchisor perspective and the franchisee perspective is to drive traffic to those Interstate All Battery Center franchise locations.
Terrific. Has there been anything interesting that's happened to you since joining Interstate All Battery, Justin?
Well, I'll tell you, Marty and Don, the concept itself has been recognized on several different levels, and I think it's probably been the most exciting thing. We recently, for the second year in a row, were recognized by a group called the Franchise Business Review. You may be familiar with that organization, and Eric Stites, the president who founded that. And we really, really value, as you guys know, there are a lot of awards that you can buy in the franchise industry. You can put top this and top that. But what we really value is we value the feedback from our franchisees. We value what they say. And as we were looking for ways to assess how our franchise system was doing, the Franchise Business Review had a great tool in a survey that they provide, and it's administered from a third party, Franchise Business Review, and it's hands off. We don't touch it. It goes directly to the franchisee, and we give them notice that not to delete it, that it's certainly reputable. But it's a significant amount of a battery of questions, and they provide feedback on topics such as quality of life and opportunity and marketing and support and all the things that you're interested in as a franchisee. And for the second year in a row, we were ranked in that top 50 category. In 2008, it was number 22, and in 2009, it was number 16 within our peer group. And we're very, very proud of that, because that's our franchisee system talking to us and talking to the marketplace. And kind of consistent with our full disclosure message, guys, we post those results on our website. You can learn all you need to know about the Interstate All Battery Center franchise concept at allbatteryfranchise.com. That's allbatteryfranchise.com. And you can go on there and look at the results and dig deep into what our franchisees are saying about any variety of topics.
Oh, absolutely. I think we think it's a great service. Yeah, that is fantastic. We've referenced them on a number of occasions, haven't we, Don? Their service. And I think that's definitely a milestone. To get that great feedback from your franchisees.
It really is. It really is. And in doing that, as your system grows, and like I said, we signed over 40 franchisees last year. We have 141 locations, 48 states right now. By the end of June, we'll be in all 50, as I mentioned. But as that system grows, that feedback is more and more crucial. So, and that's very much a part of our whole entire process, is that from the minute they begin talking to me and my group, and as they move on in the process, and as they sign, and as they go into training and operations and the opening timeline, the message is completely synced from beginning to end. And I think that's very, very important, the consistent message throughout, and that there's not an air of sales about it, but it's a consistent message, and I think the franchisees appreciate that, and at least the Interstate All Battery Center franchisees do.
It really is the strongest endorsement, coming from the franchisees, so, I mean, that's fantastic. Justin, we have to take a quick commercial break. Can you stick around for another segment?
You bet.
That's fantastic. We'll be right back with more franchise interviews.
Are you one of those special people who are willing to go after your dreams and goals? Are you ready to fulfill that dream of owning your own business with the security of a proven brand? The opportunity to take control of your future and own a Rita's Italian Ice franchise is within your reach.
Rita's is seeking success-oriented individuals who are ready to make a change in their life, and Rita's offers unparalleled training and support to assure your success. And did you know the frozen treat industry is a recession-proof industry, and there are Rita's in 23 states currently with 540 stores open. Rita's Italian Ice has been around for 25 years and is listed as a top-performing franchise by the Wall Street Journal.
Now here's the really good part. Rita's Italian Ice is a unique and amazing taste treat. It's smoother than a snow cone, and it combines ice with real fresh fruit. The real fruit adds dramatically to the taste, and it comes in over 40 flavors. The ice and fruit are mixed on site and made fresh daily, and it is delicious.
You'll want to know more about this exciting and successful franchise opportunity. Go to www.ownaritas.com and get all your questions answered. That's www.ownaritas.com to take control of your dreams and future today. You don't want to wait any longer to be a part of this adventure. www.ownaritas.com. Franchise Interviews. For over 2 years now, Franchise Interviews has been giving you an up-close, behind-the-scenes look at franchising and entrepreneurship.
Through our website, franchiseinterviews.com, where you can hear and read interviews as well as get tips from some of the most successful sources in franchising.
And our weekly franchise radio show, where each week you get to hear a new interview with franchisors, franchisees, franchise authors, experts, and attorneys.
And our free franchise newsletter, which is a must-read for anyone looking to buy a franchise.
And don't forget to listen to our podcast, Great Quotes in Franchising. For more information, go to franchiseinterviews.com or call us at 610-905-2919.
That's 610-905-2919.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Franchise Interviews, where we're asking the franchipreneur who owns one. I'm your host, Marty McDermott, with my co-host, Don Johnson. And if you've ever dreamed of owning your own business, then you've come to the right place. As we were saying earlier, Don, we have a great show today. We're speaking with Justin Darlin of the Interstate All Battery Center franchise opportunity. And Interstate All Battery Center, a fast-growing division of Interstate Batteries, the #1 automotive replacement battery in the country, is taking its proven market leadership into the $73 billion all-battery market. And I think you're up, Don. Go ahead.
Yeah, Justin, you mentioned before you're looking for strategic partners to invest in Interstate. Maybe talk about some other characteristics you look for in a franchisee, please.
Hey, that's a great question. We're looking for folks that are interested in dominating their marketplace. Partnering with the fastest growing portable power solutions company in North America. But we're also looking for folks that have a high ethical standard, that put a premium on a superior value system, that have a strong business background, that are interested in providing solutions and not excuses. We're looking for folks that are interested in, as I mentioned, dominating the marketplace with a 57-year-old proven brand, and with the number one fastest growing portable power solutions company in America. So those are the types of folks that we're looking for, the strategic partner, somebody that understands that the focus is purely on the customer, that is excited about representing that 57-year-old nationally recognized brand, and somebody that's interested in partnering with the number one automotive replacement battery in the country. And so those are the types of folks we're looking for.
Do you find a lot of times, Justin, that when someone comes to you interested in Interstate, they know all about the company? And
yeah, I tell you what, folks do a whole lot of due diligence. They do, and as you guys being in the franchise industry, they do. There's a lot of information out there, and a lot of folks put out a lot of information. It's very interesting, some of what folks will do during this type of time as far as putting out information. But what I would advise folks to do is to, if they're looking at any franchise concept, and if they're in particular our franchise concept, Interstate All Battery Center, is to go to our website, request information. That's allbatteryfranchise.com. And then I would encourage them to go through our process, because there's a lot of chatter out in the marketplace, and going through our process, it removes any distractions from there. They can get a full, comprehensive offer. They can see exactly what the concept is about without being distracted with a lot of the, as I mentioned, chatter in the marketplace. And, there's a lot of batteries this and batteries that out there, but I think it's important for the candidate to actually go through the process and learn what the concept is really, really about.
Excellent. Yep. Great advice. Talk to us a little bit about training. I'm sure you have a great program.
Well, I tell you what, we're very, very proud of our training. We have a 4-week training program, 194 hours of training. And that, as I mentioned, there's a lot of batteries this and batteries that out there. 194 hours is by far the most extensive and comprehensive training program out there. We have a state-of-the-art training facility here in Dallas, Texas. We have in-store training. We have a store attached to our training facility, so you walk out of training and you actually get to go into the real world and put it into practice. And we cover a variety of different topics at the Interstate All Battery Center, All Battery University, where we launched in this last year the 5-star certification program, which was industry leading. We announced that at our convention in February. And we're very, very proud of that. Folks, when they go through the training, Marty and Don, it's 4 weeks. We tackle all of the technological advances, custom assembly, which tells you about how to build these neat batteries. We address marketing programs. We address business planning, human resources. It really is a full, comprehensive 4-week training program, and we have experts from around our enterprise that come in throughout the 4 weeks, and you get a very, very well-rounded training experience when you come to the Interstate All Battery Center, All Battery University, and experience our 5-star certification program. So it really is something we're very, very proud of, and we launched our new facility earlier this year, and it has been successful. And when folks research the Interstate All Battery Center franchise concept, that'll be a very significant part of their research and learning about our industry-leading training program.
Sounds like one of the most comprehensive out of all the shows we've done, Marty, for a month.
I think that's the record, yeah.
It is a commitment, and we feel like anything less than 194 hours, we wouldn't be doing our strategic partner service. So it's the training aspect of things is very, very important. And in that training, what we do is we reiterate our messaging and our marketing, and as I mentioned, being the fastest growing portable power solutions company in America, making the promise to have every battery for every need, and committing to the customer when they walk in our franchise locations to have it, find it, or build it. Those are pretty audacious claims, and so you've got to have a strong training program to back that up. And the franchisees that have been through our training can validate that. And once again, that's the feedback we receive through the franchise business review and the feedback there, and the real-time feedback that we get daily.
Justin, we have about 30 seconds. What's the best way for our listeners to get more information on becoming a franchisee?
Well, guys, first of all, thanks for having me on, but go to www.allbatteryfranchise.com. That's www.allbatteryfranchise.com. We're also on LinkedIn and Facebook, and they can visit our website 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and we look forward to hearing from interested partners.
That's fantastic. We'll post it up on our show page as well, Justin. And I want to thank you again. You've been an incredible guest, and we'd love to have you back in the near future.
Well, great. Thank you, guys, and congratulations again on 125 shows. That's incredible.
Thanks again, Justin. You have a great day. Take care.
Good job.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Justin. Bye-bye.
Good show, huh, Don?
Yeah. Obviously very passionate about his role at the company and the history of Interstate and them being a market leader. There's no doubt about it. Incredible training. Obviously, franchisees are happy, so they're going to continue to dominate, it sounds like.
Yeah, and someday we're going to have to start taking phone callers. We had about 20 people on the switchboard today trying to call in, so I thank everyone for calling in. Again, unfortunately, we can't get to everybody. We had people in the chat room, but again, you can go to the website and get more information on becoming a franchisee. And we have another interesting show next week, don't we, Don?
Good feed, right.
Good
that
feed
should be interesting.
That should be an interesting concept, So great job, Don. And again, thanks everyone for listening. And go to franchiseinterviews.com, go franchise.com, franchisefunding.net, and I'll be talking to you next week, won't I, Don?
Yes. Have a great day, Marty.
You too, Don. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.